Yeah, as Paris said, I've had a journey. I spent a long time on the subcontinent prior to coming to Nepal. So I've got an affiliation with the subcontinent. I really enjoy the people. I really enjoy the culture. I really enjoy the passion for the game of cricket that particularly Nepal fans show towards the players. I know it's not going to be an easy job, but it's going to be rewarding because there is some high talent here, and if we can mould the team the way that we can set up structures both in the team and below the team to create a conveyor belt of talent to come through to represent Nepal at the highest order. So I've spoken at length with Chetri, our chairman of selectors, about what type of players we need to focus on, and we both said we're going to give our 100% best to create a team, but also a squad of depth to promote Nepal cricket for years to come. To be honest, you work in the big test teams, but I prefer development, and this is a real development opportunity. The associate teams, they're good, but they require certain attributes that hopefully I can bring into the Nepal cricket. Plus, I coached USA against Nepal in Dallas late last year, and he beat us 3-0 in a T20 series. So I saw a lot of talent, I saw a lot of passion, I saw a lot of desire, and that's what really drives me. That's what drove me in my cricket. So there's a lot of alignment there. So look, it's another challenge for me. I've never been to Nepal. This is my first time in the country, so it's another challenge for me. If you're not challenged, you're not getting better yourself, and cricket's a game you never stop learning. You can always be better. So they're the main reasons why I'm here. Talent-wise, there's no reason why that can't happen. The amount of talent here in Nepal cricket. We got 53 boys on show over the next couple of days here. Out of that, you're going to build a pretty strong squad, not only of senior players but also junior players and the next generation as well. So, look, I don't see that there's any dissimilarities to what happened in USA. My method is slightly different to other coaches. I'm a bit more relaxed. I don't like whiteboards. I don't like too much structure. I like players start thinking for themselves, and when they get out onto the ground, the coach's job's done. They've got to think for themselves on the cricket ground. So I'm going to try and help them think off the ground what they need. A lot of guidance, a lot of support, a lot of love. So I can't wait. It should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it. You could have net sessions. I don't find you find too much in net sessions. You need the players to play, see them in match situations to really get an idea of not only their talent on the cricket field, but their mental attitude, their game awareness, etc. And that's what wins you games of cricket. The team and the squad won't be selected on these games only. What players have done in the past certainly will count. But what this will do will give us an idea of if players are not performing in future, well, there's players that can come in and take over that role. So that's the main reason. I'd rather see them playing cricket than practicing cricket. I'll be guided by the gentleman sitting by the side of me. But look, I don't like losing. I'm a bad loser. Target, obviously, we've got World Cup qualifiers coming up towards the end of the year. And to me, that's a big one. To play in a World Cup is pretty special. To be involved in a World Cup as a coach is very special as well. And look, I want players here to understand that it should be their dream and their goal to go out and represent not only themselves, not only Nepal, but also their family and friends. And to do that at a World Cup is pretty special. So that's the number one goal, to try and create a system where we can promote Nepal up into the World Cup foray. And down the line, I know that Test cricket's a big ambition of Nepal cricket. That's going to take some time. There needs to be structures in place below to achieve that. But I think the conversations I've already had with certain people up here that, if we can build that structure underneath, it'll create longevity of talent coming through. It's very challenging. I've seen associate cricket up close. I took West Indies to a World Cup qualifier for the 2019 World Cup, and it was brutal. If you lost one game, you were finished. So that's cutthroat cricket. I understand the dangers of associate cricket in those qualifiers, but I don't want to highlight the negatives or the downside. I want to promote the upside, and that is going to a World Cup is pretty special. So if I can install that sort of confidence into the players, into the board members, that it may take a bit longer, but our number one goal is to be qualified. Look, I'm very much pick horses for courses. So the conditions that we're going to, and the type of players that I think we need to excel in those conditions, and then it's up to myself and the selectors to sit down and work out the best fit for those roles. I'm sure that a lot of the senior players that are there now will feature. I'm sure they will. They have to, because they're probably the best players in the country. Until someone can come through and knock them out, they've earned that right to still be there. The young players need to put performances on the board, and as a batsman, I know it's changed over the years, but my view is, if you're a batsman, you're scoring hundreds, there's something good. If you're scoring 40s and 50s, it's okay. Same with bowling. If you're bowling with a great economy rate, taking wickets, controlling the game, you're doing a good job. If you're just just bowling and just going okay, maybe there's something we need to change. But until that time, we'll sit down and we'll work it out. We'll have a plan to rotate players in, rotate players out throughout the year, and the best players we hopefully will be putting on the cricket field every time. I don't like doing that. I'd rather speak face to face. So it was nice to see Rohit this morning, and I look forward to catching up with him at some point over the next couple of weeks as well, just to give him my plan, my view, my vision, and how he and I can work together to create that out on the field. I'm a coach that I let the players play their game of cricket. I don't want them to play the way I want to play. I'm here to help them play the way that they want to play, and with a bit of guidance and understanding, I'm sure that we'll come to we'll build a great relationship, as a coach and a captain should have. I think Scotland's a great place to tour. It's a beautiful country, and if we're playing at the Grange, a fantastic setting, you're underneath Edinburgh Castle, huge history in that part of the world. So number one, I'm going to tell the boys it's a great place to go. Number two, I've asked for these games to be played on pitches that have got more grass on, 6 mil of grass. We go to Scotland, there'll be 8 to 10 mil of grass on the pitch. So I just want the players to get used to seeing a grassy pitch and understand that it doesn't hold the demons that you all think. Yeah, there will be a little bit more in it for the fast bowler, but that's what we're going to encounter. So I want us to practice or play in these conditions before we get to the UK, so it becomes more familiar, and then we can work out a game plan. But spin may not be as effective over there. It will still play a part. We may need to unearth some raw quick bowlers, and I'm sure there's plenty that will be on show here this week, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Batsmen, we just need to understand that grass is your friend. Ball comes onto the bat, ball comes to the bat, it's easy to hit boundaries. So just got to change the mindset, change the thinking around playing in those conditions. Well, you've got to use your home advantage, and it'll be depending on the opposition, but you've got to use your home advantage when you're here. I would still like to practice on pitches that have grass on, so then when we go overseas, because we've got a few tours overseas coming up, it won't be unfamiliar territory. But when we're at home, we do what Nepal does, and how we're going to play our best cricket. There'll be subtle changes in mindset, planning-wise, but it'll be role-specific, give players specific roles for their position in the team, and train accordingly to help promote that positional switch. So it won't be too dissimilar. Both game plan, different different ways to approach 50 over cricket, a different way to approach T20 cricket, but there'll only be subtle changes, there won't be massive changes.